Revolutionary life over death medley, according to what you sent me.
Is that no? That's not the same track.
Huh?
That's not the same track. That's like another track. That's got J. That's G Ross and Dub
Oh,
Effects.
did.
I know, you know G Ross and Double Facts.
Oh, who them?
Who Dem was the
Who
original,
Dem.
but that's that's alright. Oh, we could get
Yeah.
another.
Okay. There we go.
You just had
False start.
false start.
Don't matter. We already in the game now. We already in the game. Penalties called, but it's all good.
That's alright.
People roll in.
Alright.
We live. We live.
We're live.
Better live than dead.
We'll do it live.
This song makes you feel alive. If you hear this in a good system. Who them? Who are them? Who are them out there? Who are them in here? This is Raga style. Look how happy he looks. Look at the background. He just like,
Oh, bro, smiling.
yeah.
I wish everybody could see this.
We'll put the link. It's a
Okay.
great track.
I think that's contractually.
I think
I think that's all we can show.
yeah, that's all we can show. That's all we can show. That's a track right there. That is Capleton Dub Effects Who Dem. That's some that would be an offset of well, it's I guess it's considered drum and bass, but more so it's called raga. It's considered raga, and Capleton is very Jamaican. It sounds very Jamaican, but you be surprised. Some of these guys who aren't Jamaican at all sound very Jamaican. That shit's really good though. But that track is good. That's a live set. That was actually a live jam. So Capleton and Dub FX will put that in the link. Every week we get you with some new tracks. Just because, you know, we're all about getting the new stuff, getting the old stuff, and getting the good stuff all together at the Get It Podcast. And welcome if it's your first time. My name is David Scarpetta, and I'm here with the Hakeem the Dream. He's going to throw down some what's up. And we got our guest here also, the amazing, I mean, I don't know if he's ever heard this before, but he might be amazing. You tell me, the Jonathan Williams. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you.
Welcome, friend of the friends. And this is the Get It Podcast.
Hang
And
on, let me get his logo.
he's
up
going to get a
real quick.
logo. He's going to roll
Run
logo.
that
You
VRX.
can't-
VRX.
Ooh, that's
So
that's nice. You can't see it, but
everybody's
can't,
got
but I
right
believe
under your
you.
face.
it's right in it.
Just
Bro.
trust.
S-
You're
So
literally pointing at it.
I know.
Nice.
I can feel it.
I know it's just like always some kind of green screen action. Not really sure what's going on. Like everybody nowadays is like the weatherman. No one would have thought that everybody could be the weatherman. Like literally, that used to be like the cool job. You just stand in front of the screen.
Low-key, I know.
But
huh?
now everything's the weatherman. Like, and the weatherman's got literally like, if you think about their job, it's the most worthless job in the world.
Bro, that's
Not-
important. They're teaching you
No,
geography.
Yeah, they teach me geography, and they never get anything right.
I
So
mean,
it's
their
the
general
only-
area,
it's the only
though.
job
You know.
that you're allowed to be wrong every single time. Imagine if I went to work and I just made mistakes all the time, and I just made excuses and be like, "It's just the weather. These things happen."
No, that's the old weather though, because now they can like see themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can see themselves on the map.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about like you're predicting the weather.
Oh
Meaning, like, what, 'cause, like, the
yeah,
weather,
you
like,
know.
you know,
They gotta fill the time slot. What can you say?
See, he's already saying it's like, "Oh yeah, I know they're wrong."
Hey, they gotta
It's
just fill the
alright.
time slot. It was probably better in California though, because they could just be like, "It's sunny again tomorrow,"
Yeah,
and this is probably right.
Exactly. Well, you always be right about the sun. You still won't be right about the precipitation. It's like, oh, it's gonna rain, it's gonna snow. Maybe it
ain't gonna
hail
snow.
or sleet. Well, there's no sleet here, but there is hail
Never.
here. We've gotten hail.
Never seen hell here.
Oh, you haven't gotten
Nope.
hail. Yo, in this neck of the woods is hail. Like, in fact, a few weeks ago, were you around, Hakeem, when the hail was flying? You see that? It was pouring, dude. Ice was like.
I never go outside. So.
Oh yeah, go outside. That's right. Everything's hand delivered to him via text.
I'm just shoot that.
Amazon drones, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Who needs to go outside anymore?
That's real. That's real.
Yeah,
You
they
got
actually
DoorDash.
They actually have drones. I was just in New York, and they have robots in the store that clean up spills to clean up
Like the
stuff.
little Roombas, or it's something different?
No, it's like a straight up robot. It looks like a
Like Rosie from the Jetsons?
yeah, like that. It's like a small version, right? But I really don't think like its intention is what they're telling people. I actually think it's got like 50 cameras on it. And it's just like trying to catch
Getting
like
data and stuff.
getting data, seeing what you're buying, just like making sure that you aren't trying to shoplift. I think that's really what it is. It's like hello, and it's like it rolls through. It's really primitive looking. It's like the first like it's basically the first like store robot like I've ever seen, and it's only in Stop and
2020.
Shop. They have it in Stop and Shops. I haven't seen them here.
Oh, Stop and Shop. That takes
So
me
is-
back.
What? Oh, they have them in your
Yeah.
neck of the woods or no?
But no, I was on the East Coast for my childhood.
Oh,
so-
okay.
I
So
don't even
yeah.
know what Stop and Shop is. Can't
Yeah, it's a
front.
grocery chain, but it's like, but supposedly it's there for spills. But how many spills are happening a day in
You know,
stores?
people who are stealing stuff in the store. You know,
Yeah, I
just
think
to
there's
steal
more
them.
people stealing in the store than there are like actual spills. Like, oh, every 15 minutes there's a spill happening. You know, so it's just one of those weird things. So speaking of weird things, we have a lot to talk to about today, with our guests and with our friends and
yeah, Jonathan.
all kinds of
why
cool stuff.
don't you introduce yourself? So
Okay.
tell
So,
the Twitch
so
viewers,
tell everybody, Jonathan Williams here, and he's with VRX. What does
VRX.
VRX stand for?
VRX stands for Virtual Reality Experience, and we're a virtual reality company. We focus on animation, and we do a lot of work with big brands. Think like Facebook, Verizon, Samsung. And yeah, we're just trying to shift into getting some IP popping and really working on our cartoons, virtual reality cartoons.
Virtual reality cartoons.
Cartoons.
So is that the state of virtual reality right now? Like, what is like the hotness? Like, because virtual reality's been around since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's graduated quite a bit. Like, it used to be these big bulky goggles, that just the helmet. that you
It's
put on
still
your
kind of
head.
like that. I can't even front.
Because I've seen some of the new shit. Some of the new stuff is like impressive. It's really, really impressive.
But it's still a big old bulky thing to put on your head, and that's a turnoff for a lot of people, honestly.
really,
Yeah.
it's big and bulky. I mean, I've seen some of them and
Well, I
they're
should've
kind
brought
of
one,
thin.
should've brought
It's
one.
kind of. I mean, it's still got the middle piece.
Still got,
right?
yeah, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, and everybody, but makeup, they don't want to do it. Nice hair, they don't want to do it. And that's a lot of people who are going out. So when you're out demoing and things like that, people are just like a little bit averse, but I get most of them. Just turn on the charm and they start coming in.
So speaking of charm, so the state of virtual reality is getting to a level. When I've seen it, it's like it's 1-to-1 now, man. And what I mean, and for anybody out there, what I mean by 1-to-1 is like literally if you pick something up in real time, like you pretend you're got these goggles, you're submersed, and you pick something up. I used this shit probably the first time, probably like 2 months ago. My friend
Okay.
has a
Nice.
really expensive setup. It's got like
The
about
first
it's about $2,000-$3,000. No, this is like the first time. Yeah, well, I've done it at shows, but like a home setup.
Yeah.
We're talking about like a home setup here, right? So about a $2,000-$3,000 setup where it's got the perimeters, it's got these like little things that like you set up, right? You did this,
Yeah,
right? So I don't know what that's
yeah.
called. What is that called? The
room
perimeter.
scale?
You talking about, when you have a room scale virtual
Yeah,
reality?
yeah. Oh, it's
Okay,
called
I'll
room
keep it
scale.
again.
Okay, all right.
Keep it
I
in the
was
game.
not in the know. Okay, I've been out of the mix
Well,
a
we
little
have
bit
an
in the
expert
gaming.
here.
So yeah, so so the room scale. So he set up the room scale, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I have these things in my hand. I'm like, I'll pick this up, and it looks like I'm really picking it up, and I'm like throwing this shit, and it's just crazy.
It's immersive.
It's
now you
really-
really can confuse your mind.
It really is
Yeah.
submersive, and it's kind of scary because I never really. I mean, I always remember it kind of being like this thing, and never
Pixelated and
had the
goofy.
experience, the level. I mean, like literally, you can like walk, and the thing is walking with you, and then you can turn, it turns with you. You
There's
look up.
6 degrees of freedom, which means that you can move in any direction and it's going to track where you're actually moving in real space. So
Yeah, and it's like it's nothing like I've ever really experienced before to this level, and not in a home
Nice.
unit. I mean, back in the day, I remember some guy telling me, he used to stand in this little circle at the amusement parks, and they charge you $10 to do it, and it was just like 60 seconds, and it was like really shitty blocky things, and it was cool, but it wasn't like it is today, and it certainly wasn't. I mean, that those units were like $20,000 or something crazy like that. Now you can
Now
for
you can
$2
like
grand.
$400 you can pull off.
400.
Yeah,
Okay,
bro.
so this is an expensive setup. For $2
$400,
grand is
yeah.
an expensive setup. Then
It's an expensive setup, and I mean it's not necessary. I mean, unless you want a really beefed up computer, but
yeah, that's what he
you
got,
can get
too, yeah.
something right now that have standalone VR, like the Oculus Quest is probably the best example, probably most popular. and you could just get a virtual reality headset that's all in one, so you don't need a big bulky computer, because that's, it's a turnoff for a lot of people. I gotta pay $400 to get the headset, then I gotta drop another $1,000 just to get a computer, and I don't even do that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not an editor, I'm not a developer, like, where they want to spend all that money on a computer for.
Of course. But you're saying that basically, let's just say you made a game. Let's say we're making something that's comparable to like what I experience or anything. Some things are just demos, and I can literally run it on like a regular Windows 10 machine, or like
you would need a beefed up Windows 10 machine. I mean, your
like
graphics
what's the minimum
card,
do you know what the specs
minimum specs is? You're gonna need I think the minimum is a 960 graphics card, but
what about RAM?
That's gonna give you the worst. It's gonna be the worst. About 8 gigs of RAM, I'd say. That's gonna be your minimum specs.
That's about standardish, yeah.
It is, yeah, it's about standard, but it's not gonna run. You know what I mean? It's not gonna run that well. But when you're developing for things, they're saying like you have to build also for the minimum spec. They're gonna run before they like confirm you to be in the store or anything. They're gonna run it on the minimum spec computer and see if it can at least just do anything.
Gotcha.
And, not be glitching out and everything.
Gotcha. So now in respects to that industry, so obviously there's game developers, there's just virtual experience developers, meaning like it's not necessarily a game, it's just like you
passive VR, you know what I mean, like you're watching a video or something.
Like for instance, I was in one where I was like fucking hanging out with whales and jellyfish, magically I can hang out with whales and oh yeah, what was it called?
The Blue.
Yeah, that's the one I did. And I had one like a Rick and Morty.
That's pretty good too.
That was pretty great. That shit's but anyway. So that was pretty cool. So what avenue of VR do you focus on? Do you do?
So I would probably fall in that experiential, like where the cartoons are pretty passive. There's a little bit of interactivity, but we're not trying to do the most because a lot of times we're doing demos and we have the space for people to be running around and going crazy like that.
Gotcha. So, but you personally, like, what's your specialty? Like, would you're an artist, a graphic artist? You work on software? Like,
I'm a generalist. I could literally do everything. I mean, I edit in all the Adobe suites, or across the Adobe suite. I work in Unity. Anything. I can literally create it from scratch.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I call myself a kindergarten coder. I'm not like the best coder, but
so let me ask you this question. So I'm just curious about the whole process a little bit, because for people out there. So, I mean, obviously there's like a lot of like starter map. Like, so for instance, if somebody wants to make a classic game, they come out with like a pixel set and like a sprite set, and like, okay, this is the map and whatever, and they kind of fuck with it, as time goes on.
Yep.
What do you do with like do you use like a framework already, or like a background set, or can you actually go in there? Let's just say you like think of something like, I want this world to look like all the crazy talking trees from Mortal Kombat 2 where they all have faces and shit, and it's a forest of faces. Can you do that yourself, like uniquely thing from scratch, or is that like a lot harder?
It's gonna be a lot harder. It can be done. Like, you can use Maya, you can use there's a lot of tools now. Medium, that's the easy one. That's what I would use personally, is Medium, which is from Oculus. I think I just sold that to Adobe though. So now Adobe tool that people can use to create 3D assets.
Dude, Adobe's killing it.
They are for real.
Products.
And I mean, I just have worked closely with Oculus, so I'm kind of like a proponent of all their products. I hate to be like that, but that's just kind of
I mean,
what it
if
is.
they build it, they build. I mean, you can't hate them if they're actually doing a good job.
But personally, I probably wouldn't even go through the work to do that. I would just find a tree asset, because those are just, a dime a dozen. Most things, there's like a base version of it, so and then you can just add on. Yeah. I would add to a tree that already existed.
Gotcha. What would you say, like, for like an experiential type of scenario? Let's say that like it was a demo like I played, which was like, if you had to time it out, I don't know, it'd be like 4 or 5 minutes. How long does that take to create on average? Like, if you had to do
it depends on the complexity, because you could like make a 360 video that just required you to set the camera there, shoot it, stitch that footage, post it up, or it could be built-in game engine, so it's still that same 5 minutes, but you had to make the trees, you had to make the ground, you had to create the entire environment. You know what I mean? That's gonna take drastically longer than just shooting it.
Gotcha. What on average, if you had to do it your way, let's say the way that you know best, that like it wouldn't take like a year of development. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like, how long would you say, like, time wise
to make
like a 4-minute interactive like experience?
And again, it's the complexity, because you can make a
4 minute.
You could go.
I could just 20, like look at stuff.
Bro,
like there's like
you could go 24 hours and you could damn near a full game if you're that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like me personally.
Do you need to know how to code hardcore? To
Not at all, not at all. I mean, you can ask Hakeem. Hakeem kind of been playing around in Unity now too, so he kind of gets
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
That it's just
I'll
about
put it on
physics.
myself.
You know, once you
Yeah.
kind of understand the physics of the
Honestly,
engine,
yeah.
you can do anything.
With Unity, there was just this barrier for me that I thought I had to
Yeah.
go through this whole learning process of learning how it worked, but it's pretty much like any other platform. I mean, like program that you have to like editing program that you have to learn. But once you know like the basics, you can kind of like work your way into learning more and more about it and do like more complex things. But for me, yeah, like you came over the other day and was just like, yeah, import this asset.
And boom,
and
man.
the rig. I mean, you need to know like terms about how to like rig stuff and just kind of like terms of 3D animation and 3D.
So you really don't
modeling,
know
but-
how to code unless you're actually coding the program to
Yeah,
make the stuff.
and I mean, there's GitHub. There's a ton of code available. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if you have a creative mind, you can kind of understand the code when you look at it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do too. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
like
like,
that. I mean,
it's not so crazy
I'm
for
not a
most
coder
people.
by any sort of. I mean, I
But you
wouldn't
can
call
get
it-
you can get a
But
feel.
I can read CSS. I
yeah.
can read HTML. I could read, some JavaScript. I know, like, some PHP stuff. So I get a role. That's how I manage my teams.
Understand
I
it.
understand
Same,
like
same.
what's kind of what's going on. But if you told me like, oh, I want the page to load like asynchronously load in 3 to 5 seconds after this asset loads on the page, and then like this call comes here, and then like I'll be like, oh fuck, dude.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
same.
just-
I got a developer who
I-
does that. I'm
yeah, like, I'm, just
not
like,
the one
all
for
right,
anything
let me.
advanced.
This is what I want here. I want to pass this down, and it gets a little complex because like I understand enough to get around because that's not my specialty.
Yep.
Like I have a specialty within the framework of digital marketing, but like
Well, I mean,
it's,
talking to you, I feel like you're
yeah.
kind of like me. You're a generalist. You know the stuff, and
Yeah.
that makes it easy to manage teams.
Yeah, and that's I mean, in that itself, it's actually a lot harder too in a way because I mean, you have to know a bunch of shit.
Yeah, you just
in
gotta stay
order
up on it.
Yeah, to just kind of keep the the engine moving. So speaking
Yeah.
of engines, I should just talk about
no,
engines.
let's transition into
Yeah.
just sort of being like diving into the world because you don't come from that world. It's just the past few years you've been sort of diving into it, and same for me. Like I learned a certain amount of stuff in school.
Well, how long you
but-
been doing it? How long?
Well, let me
you
just say, like, going into any field, I feel like if you want to accomplish a goal, you find out the steps that it takes to accomplish that goal, like, because you want to see the end product. So, yeah, talk about how you sort of got into it. And
Yeah, how did you get
do
into VFX in general? Like, what was like?
Bro.
Is it money? Because sometimes it is. Sometimes it's just like money. There's like money to be had in it. It's cool.
What had happened was, I was working my 9 to 5, and I'm not gonna say it wasn't going anywhere, but it wasn't going anywhere. And I just happened to see on April Fool's Day in
April Fools. That's
I think it was 2015. I saw a video on YouTube of Snoop Dogg and YouTube in a laboratory, and they were making virtual reality videos, which obviously that's not how you do it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
They're
okay.
pouring, chemicals into vials and stuff, and I'm just like, what is this? I don't even understand what's happening.
yeah.
And so I looked into it, and I'm like, I had never taken my phone and moved it around and seen anything like that before, and I was like, this is the wave of the future, and this is what I want to do. And
Oh,
that's
so you're
literally-
just like you thought it was really awesome shit. And
it
you
literally,
just had-
it was all just off passion.
That's cool. And how long did it take you essentially to get to a level like it's paying some bills? Because I imagine you couldn't just quit your job.
No,
Because
no.
people, and that's the thing is it's like, I talk about this actually a lot. People are like, oh, follow your passion. Well, listen, you can follow the passion, but at the end of the day, you could be following it like out to the unemployment line.
Yep.
Like, because you still need to do shit. Like I tell,
there's a certain amount of risks that
Like-
you just don't want to take. Like,
And I mean, it depends on the type of person, because some people can't just quit their job and make that work. Cause
They
that's them.
can't.
You know
You
what I
can't
mean?
do
They're a
it.
hustler. They're a real hustler, but everybody's not that person.
Yeah. So how long would you say that you had to hustle before you could actually say, well, I don't need this job, this physical 9 to 5 to make it work?
I am a very lucky case, I would even say. It took me about, I don't even know, Hakeem, you were there for a lot of it. I would say maybe like a year and a half from when I started doing all that stuff to when I actually was able to quit my job. And it was, but a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
went
you
into
were-
that. A lot
you
went
were
into that.
doing it
Yeah,
like right from the start. Like
yeah,
you were
I was-
actually you were making
We were
money.
making content. Yeah, I guess I was. Huh? I was like waking up before I had to go to work to go and do jobs and stuff. Like 5 o'clock in the morning,
See,
I'm
this
doing
is the shit I'm
jobs,
talking about.
and then I'm coming
And
down
now,
to do my 9 to 5
brain
job.
games you still show to people, right? And that was like,
I don't even show that anymore.
oh really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Come on,
it
we've
was
gone
like
so
one,
far
I-
beyond.
What-
it, was,
what-
it was a great idea. And
What
like,
was?
I still think.
Oh, help
it's-
me out here. What's he talking
yeah,
about?
talk about brain game. Like, it was a
Okay,
great
so
idea.
like when I first started doing this, we didn't have 360 cameras, or we didn't have like game engine knowledge or any of that kind of stuff. So we had actually taken, I think it was this camera right here, dog. And
Shout
we
out.
made we made a 360 video ourselves by taking like shots of a single area and then twisting the camera a little bit, taking another shot,
Oh,
twist the
shit.
camera, shoot again. We
That's
brought
some-
it into After Effects and we like blended them all together. It looked like crap, honestly. It looked like crap. But we like from there we were able to come up with different concepts, and we came up with this thing called like brain games. And it's basically all these different people in different panels that we shot on a green screen. And so, and I didn't know how to do this at the time. I actually ended up finding a developer, and he's still the developer I rock with to this day. And we made it in game engine where you could select the right answer, and it's pretty much like a game of memory.
Gotcha.
So yeah, everybody's doing an action around you, and you just need to look around the 360 space, and you just say like, oh, who was wearing a purple hat? Who was talking on the banana? And you just go select, you get your score, and that was like really the first thing we ever did
It's
in
like
virtual
those
reality.
bar games back in the day. Like I don't know if you remember those bar games, but like
Yeah.
it's like they show you two pictures, and then you're supposed to see the differences between the pictures.
Yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
hit
Can
each
I
one.
show it? Can I show
Yeah,
it?
pull that up.
Yeah.
Pull that up.
1 sec.
Yes. I want to see the
Pull that
the
up.
early. I want to see the bootstrap.
This is what got it all started right here.
Some retro. Get some retro
So-
lasers.
I didn't even have a logo at the time. It was just out here doing what we could.
So this is what is this on? This is a YouTube string, or is this actually?
Yeah.
It's coming on YouTube.
It's on
Okay,
YouTube,
bad.
yeah.
So, but it was an actual game though.
It
so
was a game. It was an
app.
interactive
So here it
game,
is,
bro.
here
We
it is.
came. We built an app around it.
You
Yeah.
built an app, so you had
But
to
you could
launch
play
it
the
on
game without.
You could, yeah, you could. I mean, you
Just
could
like
play
by
it just off
looking
of
at it,
visuals,
yeah.
yeah. But we had an interactive version in the
Oh,
headset.
look, you had the actors too, and there's like real actors. It's like, hey, you're gonna stand in front of this.
Nah, the
Just-
chill music. Still rocking.
Yeah,
with
bro,
that
this was a
music.
vibe. This was
Look
a
at
total
me.
So
vibe.
how
Look
did
at
you
that.
how did you play like so how did like what platforms was it launched on?
We
man.
just put this on YouTube.
What
Like
up?
this was on all your generic social
No,
media
but I'm saying
platforms.
like no,
but
no, I mean like you're but
Whatever
you're showing an
happened
a demo of this, but did you play this?
Yeah,
like,
so
you
it
would
was
say-
in headset on at the time. It was the Samsung Gear VR was what people were using, and that's where you take your phone and you would plug it into a VR headset
Yeah.
and like look at it in there. Like
Yeah.
it was doing the most.
What was the most players? Do you have stats on like how many?
Only 3 of us are
no,
left to
yeah, we
play.
didn't actually have like stats at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was kind of the beginnings of VR. Everything was running through the cell phone.
What year? What year was it?
This was
know?
2016 maybe.
Let's see.
I think it was 2016 when we did all this.
2016. Well, at least
2016.
when you opened or when you
That's when I
uploaded
uploaded it. Yeah, and it was probably we were probably running this for a minute before then.
But it goes to a like where did the actual like the game get like hosted? It sits on. You know how like the App Store is like the you know.
Never released on the App Store.
So where do you
Man,
release it?
this
Where's the
brings
platform?
back
I was only
memories.
doing demos at that time.
Oh really? It was just
Like
demo?
yeah, there wasn't the VR wasn't what it is right now. You know what I mean? There wasn't
Gotcha.
really a platform.
I mean
for
that's
this
not
kind of
really a
stuff.
long time. If you think about it, it's only 3 years.
Bro. A lot has changed in that 3 years, though.
Really? Like,
A lot has
I mean, I know
changed.
like tech. I mean, I know a lot. Even like web dev changed a lot in 3 years. But I know
I
gaming is
mean,
even like
even just to put it in
faster.
perspective, bro, they were running the virtual reality off of a cell phone. It was a cell phone plugged into it to your face.
Yeah, I
like
know. It's
this. Like,
basically
so-
yeah. Well, what I remember
Yeah,
that
still
because I
have
used to
my
do
gear.
CES and
So do
E3.
I got a couple of them.
I used to do CS and E3, and these people were like, "Oh, look at this new headset." I'm like, "Dude, all this is a fucking thing you put in front of your face."
Yeah,
I'm
but
like,
I mean,
this is a cell phone holder for my
that
face.
was groundbreaking technology at the
I was
time.
just like, this
bro.
is nothing special here. Special.
That was groundbreaking. I thought it was special. And I just started
I mean,
making
it's
a killing
cool. I
off
guess
of it.
you can do that, but like comparison to like the stuff that we were talking about, the new school, like the real immersive
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
you
but-
can't do that with a cell phone holder.
Hey, but at the time, that was next level. Nobody, people were looking at this, you're like, what? What?
But
They're
and so
looking
you were,
around
and
going
so
crazy.
you were so you in order to play this, I had to physically go
You had to go, yes.
to where? Where do I go? Your
It was
website?
where- no, it was everywhere. I'm talking. We were physically with people. People were playing this physically.
Oh, so you had
you
to
had to
be
come-
there to show them.
you
So you
had to
didn't have. There
come,
was no
yeah.
repository. There was
No,
no
no.
repository.
VRLA
there was-
was
VRLA,
a
yep.
great place to to show
Yeah,
that
but I
shit
mean, I
off.
was everywhere. We were doing the Google events. We were always at the Google events. That was like.
So it's
yeah,
really
man.
just like you showing your work. So there was you didn't get any downloads, any fans. It's just like
Nothing,
it was just like a
bro.
labor of
This
love,
is-
basically.
Yup.
Proof of
I was still
concept,
working my
like-
job, like.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but this is what started everything. This
So how
started
did
getting
you
me the
like? How,
jobs.
was it? Oh, I guess it was well received, right?
Very well received. Very well
People-
received. And I wasn't myself at the time. I'm not the person I am today. Like I didn't have the sales acumen. Like I literally didn't even know what I could do with this. It was just something that I had created because I liked the medium, and I didn't even realize how far ahead I was because we had gone in Game Engine and made this, and I had the coder, and I didn't really know. You know what I mean? I was just
Yeah.
doing something that I love to do.
So you kind of created the framework, and then you handed it off to developers, and developers did it.
And I mean, I was sitting right there with bro. Like to this day, I only know Unity because of all the time we put in, like putting this together. And even finding him, I went to a virtual reality game jam or something, and they ended up losing. But I was like, bro, I got a way better opportunity. Like, forget CSUN's, competition. Like, come over here with me. And, and everything changed because what had happened was this is maybe even like a year after this. And I had been like building up. I had really been like studying the stuff and kind of learning the craft. And there was an opportunity through Facebook for this program called Oculus Launchpad. And
I've actually heard of it.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
bet.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
and I applied just on some like whatever, because I'm just sitting at my 9 to 5 just on the computer. Like, let me just do this while I'm just sitting here.
Yeah.
And I got into the program. I ended up winning that program. And so we got funded by Facebook to create an app. And the funny thing is, like, I had done so much work and learned so much making brain games that when it came to just building that was nothing.
How long did the brain games take you to do?
Way too long. It took
Well, I
way
mean,
too
yeah,
long.
it was your first.
We
shot,
had to
right?
go. We had to shoot everybody. We had to go buy the green screen. That was like the first thing I had ever really done with green screen. Like we did everything. We were setting it up. Like it was crazy. The development took forever as well. But really, it was like the
But you probably
editing
learned
of
a
the
lot,
space.
though, right?
I learned like damn near.
You-
I've just
And you
amplified
you
everything.
didn't go to school for this.
I went to school for international business and business management.
Oh, you wanted to run a McDonald's.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to travel.
And wanted to travel.
And I did
well,
do
you can
that.
still
I was-
travel.
I was living in
You can
France
you
for a
can
minute.
still-
Like, we
you
had a
can still be-
blast.
You can still be doing that though.
Oh, I still do. I just got to
Yeah.
go to Cuba with virtual reality. Like
Well, that's what I'm
bro,
saying. Well, like again,
opportunities.
So you went to school. Now you're from the same neck of the woods this guy is, right?
Minnesota,
Minnesota.
born and raised. Minneapolis, shout out.
Land
Hey,
of
I just have to call out someone.
was it
who,
10,000 Legs?
Who actually found my number weirdly and is watching the stream.
What?
Um,
I mean, all our numbers are online. It ain't hard to find us. Look, yeah.
It's not hard to find me either.
I'm not gonna say his number or he or she, but they say they ask, is he able to power room scale VR on his laptop? I
Oh,
mean, I'm
me?
assuming so, yeah. But
Yeah,
I
you
guess-
can.
I'm
You
gonna-
can
I'm gonna
power
call
room.
you. Please, here, I'll text you asking who you are. But if you're
You can
listening to the
power
stream.
room scale VR on a laptop. Yes, and even with that, I would still recommend that Oculus Quest because they have this thing called Quest Link where you can just plug the Oculus Quest into your laptop, so you can have room scale with your computer, or you can have room scale without your computer. And I mean,
because they have like
It's no
literally,
better.
they have places now VR. You can actually go to place kind of like escape rooms. You know how a thing over the past 4 or 5 years.
VR
There's
theme
VR
parks,
stuff.
VR like
arcades.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the
VR
thing.
like
Yeah,
experience
What's
locations.
that one? 2-Bit Circus is sort of like that.
kinda. There's.
But it's so weird. Have you
There's
ever
legit
watched
escape
anybody
rooms
like
around.
in a? I mean, like you guys probably have. But do you ever watch people in that and like watch like as an outsider looking in, like watching people do VR shit? It looks the
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
wackiest
Yeah,
fucking
it is
thing.
funny.
It just looks. You look so stupid.
Yeah,
You like this,
crazy.
you know? It's just like you you have like no frame of reference. You just look like you're
Nah,
spinning in
man.
circles. And
I don't look
around.
like that, so I
You
don't
look like
know.
a goof. Yeah.
You look like a fucking goof. But
You gotta
you
get
look
over
like
it.
a
I mean,
total
man,
goofball.
You gotta be able to.
Yeah,
in-
who
in-
are you? It's about
in
your
life-
confidence. You
in
just have
life,
fun.
You gotta be able to look like a
But
goof.
yeah, you look
You
like
should
a
know
pretty
that.
fucking goof. Yeah, I'm saying no. It's just weird because. But well, that's what I'm trying to say. That the comparison is, you in real life, like this shit's not really happening. It's virtual reality, right? It's virtual,
That's
right?
so
But you're in
crazy.
it. But it's so real to you
This
when you're
person
in it.
called- this
But on
per-
the outside, everybody sees you as a tool.
What's real though?
Just right. But now we're getting deep.
What's real?
No, let's get deep.
I mean,
This what this
what's real?
podcast
Isn't it?
is
It's all
about.
perception
Going
anyway.
deep
Like,
with-
Well,
bathe
that's
and-
what we talked about earlier. We were talking about a little bit about the sleep thing, right?
Yeah.
People hate on sleep. So anyway,
Like,
we'll talk about it in a second.
singularity,
So
man,
we'll segue into the next thing.
Well,
So
let me
speaking
ask
of
one more
reality-
question, though, like, when do you think is the amount of time that it will take for us to get to where it's accessible and a platform that we can lose ourselves in? I mean, it's already happening.
It's
but-
happening
Yeah,
right now.
but-
I'm gonna say
But I guess the singularity is like.
and
when
you know,
Oh,
it's not
dude,
gonna
be
take.
like
It's
the-
not gonna
you
take
are
the
like-
singularity,
you are-
bro.
Yeah, dude.
It's gonna be
You're gonna inject your
education.
listen, take your
gonna be
DNA,
education.
take some plasma, go shoot it into to RJ45 cable. You're in like that shit ain't happening for a really long time.
And you
and me ain't
say
gonna be
that, bro.
around.
No, you say that, but you
Listen,
know what I mean. Like, who
you
knows?
don't want to get me started on
Here,
singularity,
bro.
because
People live here.
yeah, but the problem with the
People live
singularity
here.
is just like is who controls the singularity.
Google, Facebook.
Then it's not.
You know what I mean?
singularity.
Amazon.
Then that's a problem then, because it's more
No,
like
no. The
it's more
question is
like
who controls them.
imprisonment.
Who controls them? It is imprisonment.
That's imprisonment.
It
That's
is
not-
imprisonment.
That's not freedom.
It is imprisonment. What?
That's
I
imprisonment.
mean,
Who's saying
do
that
we-
it's
do we
freedom?
have freedom?
Yeah, you don't have it
Well,
right now.
You
Is it
do.
predetermined?
Well,
You think
is
you
it-
do, but
Well,
think about
yes,
all the
you
ads that
have-
get pumped in this.
you
They're
don't have
already
freedoms,
dictating
you
your
have-
actions. Come on,
you
man.
have allowances. You don't have freedoms. You have an allowance. You have a
like
certain right. But the thing with the whole like the thing he's talking about, basically the whole that's not going to happen for a very, very long time. And we can get spiritual about that, or we could talk, because that's also a spiritual level shit. That's very, people think of it as
Yeah,
like
it
a
is, it is.
mechanical, technical
is.
level. You're speaking because okay, and I'm not trying to assume here, but based on our previous conversations, you're talking very technical. You're talking very technical as a
I'm
technology
talking
lab.
spiritually.
But spiritually, that's a whole different
But
fucking
I
ball
think
game,
spiritually
man.
we are
You
already
know what I'm
trapped,
saying?
bro. They're putting their energy into this. This
Well,
is
yeah,
where your
that's an
energy's getting
extensive.
directed.
Yeah, that's an extension.
What's the difference?
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
there is a certain difference.
And I
There's a certain
agree,
difference.
It's all
but
How can
connected.
you
Technology
you can
is
extract?
spiritual.
Yeah, but extracting like raw emotion,
Dude,
becoming.
how does
yeah,
the computer
and it's like,
turn on?
and-
How do like our
But
brain
you have to
is-
think about like when, it's some Matrix shit. Put it that way, it's some real Matrix shit.
but I don't think
Like
we're gonna
when
have
you're
to plug.
jacked
You
in,
won't. You
you're
won't
gonna
have to
fucking
get
pull a
jacked in.
cord out, and
You
you're
don't.
like,
Come
you're
on,
like
bro.
this
That's antiquated. That was the '90s, dog.
no, dude, that's
That was 1999. They don't gotta plug in no more.
Well,
They
you
gonna
gotta
have you
plug in,
no, it's
but
gonna
the
be
thing
wireless.
is that okay, but like there are
There's
being
chips in people's
experiments.
brains
They're
right now.
putting chips in bodies. They're putting chips in brains. They're putting
The RFID chips.
checks,
Yep. Come
they
on.
but the thing
We're
is that so if they really want a heightened sense of experience, yeah, maybe it won't be in the back of the skull with fucking like a RJ, like a fucking
We don't
XLR
do cords
cable.
no more, man.
But the thing is that is but still there's a certain part of spirituality that's being lost. It's you just want, because a lot of the stuff is transactional. So meaning like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But what about all the other things? What about the real feeling? Because you're getting like the mental stimulation. You're getting from 1 sense, right? From 1 sense, you only get it for 1 sense. What about blind people? Are they left out of that? Right? Blind people can still have sex, right? They still feel. I bet blind people's penises still get hard.
But who's saying that
Right?
it's just 1 sense though?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But a lot of people like are equating it to either just 1 sense. They call it equating singularity to like the technological hive mind of like everybody's like input and knowing this and that, and then and just having the connective. The information superhighway. I'm gonna call it information superhighway because before the internet was called the internet, it was called the information superhighway, and that's really what it is. It's just it's a bundle of information, and even today, like what you do, like Google, Yahoo, Bing, a lot of these places, Yelp, these are all just subsets, subunits of essentially subunits of information being categorized. So like it's my job, right, to help people present their information in a consumable fashion and get found in these subsets of something like to bring them to the top. So people, because again, people's attention spans are really low. They don't really, they want the instant gratification information. So if you think about it, the hive mind, the singularity, there's just basically there's so much information, and now you have to dole it down. You have to create subsets, and you have to box it all up. So the question is to you, yeah, you can box up the wants, but what about the emotional needs? What about the physical needs? There is no technology at this point, I don't think, that can replicate or even fuse in the physical needs, right? Because the stimulation, the physical needs of like, oh, I got to eat some shit. I need to eat stuff. Or the physical needs of being touched. Like, dude, everybody, I don't care who you are on the planet, like you want a girlfriend, you want a boyfriend, you want a friend of a friend that's a boy and a girl, and whatever the fuck's going
human
on.
Interaction.
You want some human interaction, human touch. Your dog wants to be touched. There's just this formula. The singularity, who's in charge of that then? There's some like bigger mind. So until I feel like the framework is decentralized, right? Just like Bitcoin, but really Bitcoin even itself, Bitcoin, and I know somebody out there who does Forex trading will know about this. The Bitcoin, and everybody talks about it to be decentralized. Yeah, so essentially it's decentralized, and because there's almost so many people that are like these ledgers that are being kept and whatever, but like the people who govern it, and if you nothing's decentralized. Nothing's decentralized. So it's a little dangerous to see, and I feel like that there's going to be a certain amount of people who are going to be like on board with that shit being injected into the system, and there's going to be people like me who are like, whoa, well, let's take a look at this for a second.
And you'll be thrown in jail, and I'll be there with you, bro. So
I
we
guess
can chop it up.
I'll be working. I'll be working on trying to get out of jail. I don't know, but like I don't think it's going to happen in our lifetime. I don't, maybe it will, maybe it won't.
I think technology has been evolving exponentially. And
it's as fast as it's ever been.
It's going to be faster tomorrow than it was today, and so on and so forth. And there's something that you don't even know.
Of course. Yeah. And that's why even with me, Bitcoin, I think, I invested in Bitcoin, and I was a fucking idiot. I was impatient. I invested in Bitcoin
is not the is not the technology. It's
I
the
understand.
blockchain.
I understand, but I'm just saying it's what we wrap around it, right? It's what we call it.
It's
Bitcoin.
crazy. It's like
right?
one small.
But in
sector of it that
2013, I spent $1,000 on Bitcoin. That shit was like $100 a unit.
Yeah,
it went to
the move.
20,000. It went to 20K. Now it sat around for like 6 to 8 months for me back then, and I was like, why do I have this $1,000 sitting in this fucking account? I was just like, this is stupid, right? I'm like, let me get this. Like, everybody's like, oh yeah, you can buy stuff online. I'm like, and my friends who turned me on to it, I'm not gonna name any names, but like they're like, oh yeah, you could get stuff Silk Road. I'm like, what the fuck's on Silk Road? I'm like, I don't want to buy any fucking blow through the email. I don't want to like hire hookers. I mean, I go to the strip club.
LA. It's everywhere.
I go to the Valley. one or the other, right? Yeah. So I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So I didn't want it.
You know
So I
what's funny?
sold it all off, and then
when
all of a sudden in 2000, what was it? During the high time, 2017, early 2017, I heard old people talking about that shit. I'm like, oh shit. When I hear old people talk about shit, you get on that bandwagon quick.
And
I dropped, when I knew it was coming
I was
up,
on a Comedy
and I
Central
dropped
show.
up, and I dropped
Did I tell
back
you about
up.
that? The
I
Comedy
dropped that
Central
to
show
fucking
that-
$5,000, bro. I dropped $5,000 on Bitcoin when it was like 12. It was about 1,500, and I was rushing to get the money in, bro. Rushing to get the money. You know why? Because I knew it was gonna go to fucking 20K. I knew. I felt it. When you got 70-year-old men who are talking
you
about,
won then.
I won for a little bit, and then I lost like everything else. But the thing is like, imagine if I had it, but it was just patience, and that's what I'm talking about right now. Everybody's hating on Bitcoin. Everybody's like, oh, it's not doing the money.
But
you know what, though? Looking at the wrong way. It's really about the long game. It's really about the long
investment,
game.
though.
You throw, yeah, exactly. Everybody, because listen, for early adopters are going to make a ton of money. Anybody who dropped in money
people
eventually.
like you who are selling it so early don't believe in the technology. If you believe in the technology, you're not even going to ever.
I believe in
exchange it for
technology.
money.
I work in technology for a living. Of course, I believe in fucking technology. But you know
people
what
can
I
trade.
believe? Like everybody else, everybody's romanced by the quick buck.
Of course.
Who doesn't want to make 20? Who doesn't want to make 20K?
Especially in these days, like everybody
Right.
wants that fast
Do you want to
money.
make that 20 grand? Or you're not going to
Well-
sell out? Oh shit! I just
Let's
invested
say-
$1,500 and I
let's
made
say
20,000.
I
I made
invested,
18.5. Why
then
wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I do that? right?
I mean, it's not your job though. It's just something that you invested in, hoping,
Yeah, but
thinking.
yeah,
that,
but you know what
that
though?
it-
Money,
it could
money.
Investment
yourself
is a
out.
risk, though. That's the risk of
Yeah, but
investing.
sometimes like you pull out, and because of the governing body,
But
isn't
you already
there,
did, and then you pulled out because you were like,
Yeah, I pulled
oh,
out.
Shit. And you were probably not like you were probably still working in. Making money, so you didn't have to turn it into 20K.
Well, I didn't have to, but who wouldn't pull out at that moment? And then people are like, "Oh, it's guys like you," and then there's all those hold guys, hold on for dear life, right? Like so, all those hodl guys. Oh, it's guys like you that sink. I was like, no, it's not guys like me. I have fucking $5,000 invested. There's guys who have $500,000
Right.
invested. Guys who have $1 million invested. Guys who are Bitcoin whales. Guys like me who back in 2013 who had $1,000 invested. We were like, oh, I'm putting 10 grand in, and then the shit was like off the charts.
What year did it even?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what year that was when Bitcoin just blew.
It was
up.
like it blew up. It hit its. It had its
when I
ebbs and
made the
flows
video
in
about it.
2015. After he made that video,
No, that was
it was like
damn,
it was
that's 2015.
it was like yeah, no.
Yeah.
He had made the video in 2017, early in 2017, and then a few months later, I'm
didn't
just
take
like
my own
I was
advice?
back into it, and I was just like,
I'm-
oh shit,
I'm
this is
kinda
like.
pissed.
But it became easier to transact. More people started,
They got, like,
started
Bitcoin
acclimated to
machines
it.
out here.
Yeah, and then and right now it's really because it's being governed. You wait till all the big money
They
comes
can
in.
tax it, yeah.
And then it's gonna
That's
be
what sucks,
an
man.
asset.
That's
It's still
what
gonna be an
sucks
asset. It's
about-
gonna be a
Bro,
but
that's
it's
the
the long
government,
game,
though.
though.
They're
That's what
never
sucks
long
about
game now.
technology.
Money.
It's like we have like for example, I don't want to get into it, but just like vehicles for an example. Like how many years have we actually had electric cars? But they
I've
just
had my electric
never-
car since 2013. My
but
first
people-
electric car was a
like-
Leaf.
Like, yeah, but it's how many years since electric cars have been advanced? I mean, I remember the hydrogen car back in
Dude,
school.
electric
like,
cars have been
people were
around for
talking about the
fucking no
hydrogen
joke,
car,
bro.
And
Electric cars been around for since 2000. The utility, like the gas companies, like the utility companies that would give the company cars out, were
Yeah.
actually electric. They only had like a range of like something stupid like 20
Yeah.
miles, but like they were
But
out
it's
as early
business.
as 2007, 2008. But there's no one who wants to drive around in a car that only goes 15 miles.
True.
Well,
Yeah, the
you
infrastructure
take
in
your
LA.
fucking-
But
your-
at the end-
yeah,
at the
your
end of the
scooters.
day-
Take your
On the
razor
freeway.
scooter
at
to
the end of the
street.
day, it's hard to transition like with gas stations with limitations.
They just
with,
don't want to change the
with
infrastructure.
everything. Yeah, it's like like the technology we have technology that
Well,
that
yeah, it's the adoption. It's the
like-
adoption that takes time. So the only
look at
mo-
how many good things VR can do in so many industries. Yet like people are not really adopting them to sort of.
Because they don't want to
enhance
buy the
their-
computer, they don't want to buy the headset. A lot of people don't want to
Yeah.
make that.
So once it
investment to change.
once it becomes more financially viable, once they start doing transactions, dude, the internet is actually classified as a need now.
But it's like
Did you know
holy
that?
shit.
It
Do
is.
you know
You can't even
example-
survive. You can't get a job without the internet.
Yeah,
It's like
you
holy
could,
shit, like
but-
Elon Musk is showing the Tesla Cybertruck. Everybody's like, oh, that's cool. Some people don't think it looks good, but
I love it actually.
I think it looked kind of cool too. Actually.
but it's
Yeah,
like
man, that's what
you
that's
show
what
this
I wanted
stuff,
when I was a kid.
everyone's excited, and then come 2021, like how many people are actually gonna buy that? Like how many people are gonna buy
the ones who
a
can afford it.
HoloLens?
Everybody's gonna
a
buy that
HoloLens, You know,
shit.
Microsoft shows it off at
Everybody's-
CES. Everyone's going crazy. Oh, this is cool. Like you see this video about like things popping up
Dude.
on the street, like when you're driving, you get the navigations within your eyes and stuff. But like people are so excited, yet technology's there. Like
When
it's,
it comes
it's
to using
physically
your
possible.
resources
Well,
to
it's
get
true.
something,
It's-
though, that's when you really got to make a decision. And a lot of people don't want to use their resources up on something like
and
that.
then
They're
people
not
also
necessities.
like and also too. Well, what am I gonna do with this thing? Like I literally have people like, oh, that thing's obnoxious looking. Okay, well if that becomes the norm, and every other company makes a variation of that fucking Cybertruck, then who gives a shit? I'm gonna be first to the market. I'm
real.
gonna have the cool like armored car. Not that I
What do
need
you-
armored
what do you
car because
think of
people
it?
aren't shooting at me yet. I don't know. Maybe later on they will be, but anyway,
What do you think of the Cybertruck? I don't think I ever.
I already pre-ordered mine.
For real?
Yeah, no, I'm dead ass.
Oh,
Yeah, I
wasn't
pre-ordered
that serious for me. I thought it looked cool. But,
No, bro, that thing's a beast, bro.
bro.
I already drive electric. I've been driving electric for
Yeah.
about 5 years. I love it. I will never go back to gas. The only thing I pull in a fucking gas station for is to grab a water and take a piss,
Fair enough.
and maybe some,
Fair enough. Get some snacks.
maybe maybe
snacks.
like the occasional donut,
Yeah.
because I got that weakness inside.
Don't worry.
Speaking of donuts, hold on.
Don't worry.
I want to shout out to some East Coasters in here, some New York City. So so the holidays, happy holidays. It's the holidays. We're in full effect. So I just came back from New York, and these two other cats with me here, Jonathan and Hakeem, aren't from the East Coast. And even though he
Dude.
says, "Oh, I was in the East Coast," okay, you didn't live in
Dude,
the East Coast
I
like this. Okay, do you know what
grew
this
up on the
is?
East
You know what
Stays young
this
and restless.
is?
Oh, that look fire.
Oh shit.
It's like a
Do you
brownie
know what
cookie.
this is?
Look like a layer brownie.
I'm assuming
Oh God, it smells so good.
it's an Italian
Smell that. Can you
cookie.
smell that?
No,
Oh fuck.
we don't have that technology
Okay,
yet.
this is like this is something that's singularity. The only singularity I'm gonna have right now is when I single this shit straight in my mouth.
It looks like a
Guess what?
LGBT.
I got one for everybody. Here,
Looks
take
like
one.
a pride.
Oh,
It's
okay.
looks like a pride
one.
cookie.
Take one. Yeah, this is
All the
Alright,
colors
come on.
of the rainbow.
this
right
is
here.
this is the Italian rainbow cookie.
It's called the rainbow cookie.
Yeah, that's called rainbow cookie. Racial harmony in a cookie.
Don't mind if I do.
Okay.
It's got my yellow in there. I'm
That's
good.
politically correct. This is the most politically correct cookie. Unpolitically correct people. That's right. I love.
Oh, jeez. That's
You know,
rich.
tell
That's
me
rich.
how much love in here. We got. So I'm gonna show. Maybe I'll go closer to the frame. See that? There's some dark chocolate.
Bro, this was real good actually.
Yeah, dude. You want another one, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay. Go get it.
Oh shit. My
Well,
bad.
Yeah. So look at this. This is like dark chocolate with 3 layers of cake with a raspberry.
Hang on. It's not. Let me focus it.
Oh, wait. Bring it back.
No, let me do it.
Bring it back.
Yo, this is so good.
This
This
is
is-
live.
yeah,
This is
dude.
live.
There is nothing, and there's no packaged product. This is the fresh. This is like straight less than 10 hours.
There's like jelly in between here.
That's raspberry jelly, bro. In between. This is like love right here.
This is never been tasted something like this.
What is it?
What is
Italian
it
rainbow
actually
cone?
called though? Is there like
Italian
an
rainbow
Italian
cone.
name? Italiano Cookiano.
I don't think it's like. I don't actually. I genuinely don't think it's I don't think it's like I didn't see this when I was in Italy. Like, I
Oh,
didn't-
it's just an
I didn't see it.
American.
I think this is an American Italian thing. I could do the history on the Italian rainbow cookie. I could do it. I could pull it up. Maybe you could pull it up. You know, but
All I got pulled up.
I could eat.
All I got pulled up is his.
I could
his
eat a whole
penises.
box of these. Let me tell you something. And my goal, everybody out there right now who's watching this, my goal is to bring these to the West Side. But you can't like this here. There's just like a certain amount of love, you know, and the water. Everything.
Weren't you
about this-
gonna make start a bit like Italian ice business? or
Yeah, we're
something?
gonna bring out Italian ices over. And I was gonna bring Italian rainbow cookies, but it's a little easier said than done. But yeah, it's rich, man. But there's so much love, and that cookie's phenomenal, man. Good luck, Singularity, trying to replicate that. That's just not gonna happen.
You say that now.
When you do that, when you can
what
replicate
is-
that, then I'm in. You coming back
What
for
what is
seconds?
this taste signal? It's just a signal from our taste buds to our
Oh yeah,
brain.
it's just yeah. That's right.
We can
It's just
replicate
taste
that
signal.
feeling.
Oh, just
Well,
electricity.
It's just my penis, it's just electricity. So speaking of
Technically speaking.
yeah, so speaking of, which rolls us into our next thing. Our next thing is penis fishes.
Hang on. I'm gonna stall for a second because
So,
I gotta replace.
Here on the West Coast. All right, well you can keep stalling. I'll keep talking.
Yeah, bet.
So real quick before we go into this, this is some deep shit. Okay. So I'm gonna take my glasses off for it. So intense. So if you're watching this for the first time, make sure that if you're mobile to catch us the entire show, right, on YouTube. You can go to my channel, youtube.com/my name, David Scarpetta, right?
Or better yet.
Or better yet, go to
Get
the
Found- Get It-
official channel
Get it.
and go to youtube.com, and we'll put it in the links. We'll put the links in the description. youtube.com/Get It Podcast. Okay, so just type in /Get It Podcast, or you can just type in Get It Podcast into YouTube. But if you can't find it, just find
Let me help him out. Real
yeah,
quick.
help everybody
Let me-
out.
Let me just
Drop
set-
them
let me
links.
let me
Drop those links, son. So you can see us every week coming at you with some new We'll get everything you need here. You get the knowledge, okay? You get the entertainment.
Actually, I
you
don't
get
know if we don't have the
you get all the good stuff.
URL yet, do we?
Okay. Do we have what? No, we don't have a URL yet because we don't have enough subscribers because it's a new channel.
Please.
That's why.
Subscribe. Go
That's
to
why
YouTube.
youtube.com/David Scarpetta because you'll have the link there.
Let's see for the
drop
first.
the link.
Oh, we have our friends.
So, those are rainbow cookies. I actually should do a giveaway of those for the holidays just because there's just so much love in those cookies, man. There's just nothing that compares to those. And there's other Italian cookies, but I feel like the rainbow cookie is something so much more different than all the other cookies. So, so like I said before,
Wait, I'm curious now. Rainbow cookie.
so while you're checking that out, all right?
Oh, okay. They're pretty popular. It looks like.
Of course, they're very popular. They actually tried doing their packaged version of it here on the West Coast, but it sucks.
Yeah, that felt really moist. I don't
it's
even know how to
not.
explain that.
It's not even.
Oh, Italian flag. That's why.
I mean, some of the bakeries kind of make it look a little different and kind of come off a little lighter color than the other. But that, I mean, I go to one of the three same bakeries that I go to when I usually go to New York. But it was delicious.
variety
So
like.
So yeah, so that's that's just electricity. It just fueled my electricity in my brain. It kind of moved all the way down. Might gave me a little bit of movement, a little bit. And speaking of movement, these penis fishes, man. So just the other day, and this is real, okay? The penis fish.
And we go from food to.
Yeah. Well,
to
listen,
fish.
we gotta cover all the bases.
Well, I mean,
here,
technically,
right?
those are food. People are eating.
Yeah.
those.
So people are eating fish. Okay.
Right,
I don't know. I know I wouldn't be the person to eat the penis fish. All right. So this, my friends. So I'm gonna give you, Hakeem, the link to show everybody. So this is the penis fish.
You know, when they cooking them too.
And so literally thousands, right here in Marin County. I mean, it's farther north. So it's just really funny. So the penis fish, literally penis fish, just washed up on shore here in Marin County on Drake's Beach. Good old Drake.
Good old Drake.
And Drake's Beach. Imagine that. So, and you don't have to have, and you're probably thinking I'm being dirty about it, but really, if you look at these fucking things, this shit really it's really just looks like one. And so many people are holding them.
Up, though? Like, what is it? Did it say
You know,
there's some type of epidemic happening, or like?
Dude,
I don't
it's
know. The world
it's
shit.
Like we're throwing all this shit in the ocean, and some mutations
they're
are
just jumping
fucking
out. They're just like,
happening.
yo, we're out
I
of here.
mean, do you not get a plastic bag when you go to Ralph's?
I
No,
get a
I
I get a double strength plastic bag now because I have to pay 10 cents. That's such a scam in itself. The whole plastic bag thing is such a fucking scam.
Oh God.
So look at this. So you just cut to the frame on this. So they just washed up on shore. So basically, supposedly they're not actually fishes. They're 10-inch long worms.
Like swimming worms.
They're
I guess,
swimming worms.
Can worms swim though? Is that a thing?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they could swim in your stomach, right? If you got tapeworm, there's probably some liquid in your stomach, right? It's fucking gross. So,
I just posted a comment.
so yeah, so
You
they
just posted a
so
comment.
2 miles. There was 2 miles. They kept walking, and they said they stunk. Most of them appeared to be dead, and the air reeked. They're disgusting. So they're rotting
I wonder if there's a
penises on the
picture.
beach. I wonder if we're gonna get like if we're gonna
Censored?
get censored because I keep saying the word penis.
Probably.
Like it's.
Oh,
So I
I
say
mean, that's-
maybe I
saying
should
that's a
change it to the
scientific
word
term.
This
member.
looks like a penis. don't
Do
know
I
if
have
that's the
to
same
have to
thing.
change it? Do
You
I have
see
to be
this?
more politically correct? Do I have to say the word member?
Oh wow, that really does. That's kind of crazy.
Dude, look at that thing. That thing. I don't
It's
know.
like you fucking.
I mean, listen. It's
shot
not the designer one. Like the cut versions, but that definitely looks like little like
That's
know,
kind of
old world
designer though.
penis.
That's like straight. That's.
It's just like
Mm.
yeah, it looks like something you
How
buy
much
at
would
the
you buy
adult
it?
store too.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
buy one in general. I'm not that type.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. He says storms that
That's
surf and heavy
wild.
surf to dislodge creatures from their burrows. They're just fucking gross. So speaking of gross, let's see how
Crazy.
gross they really are. I sent you a video of this guy like preparing.
Cooking them up. He
penis
was in
fish.
there doing it.
Okay, hold on a second. Here we go. You ready for this, everybody? All right. Only get this here on the Get It podcast. Here we go.
If
This
you have
is
any
all-
food,
So Can you play that video
sorry?
for us so I can feel vomitous and I can
Please,
throw up rainbow.
Vomitous.
I could be vomitous and throw up rainbow. So here it is. A nice city. Oh, here you go. Penis fish. There it is. And you got the little
They do
head.
kind of look like some tapeworms or something. They look like trimmers.
No, that's more my size.
Is that? Oh yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, you're more about the length than you are the girth.
I bet somebody eating those and don't even know. It look like they'll be a sausage.
Look at that.
Oh,
Look at all that blood. Just like he's so good at chopping. Like he's done this like 1,000 times over.
You see how many just washed up
Oh,
on the beach? What
dude,
is that?
it's
Is that
so
like, they're just filled with blood?
gross.
They're 99% blood.
99% blood.
And it's crazy. How can like a
Oh,
creature even
there-
just be alive like that?
Well,
Yeah,
they
it's
are.
like their organs are like a string of.
Of intestines, or they can just eat and poop.
Jeez, man,
it's
that
like
is
they're
just
they
vile.
afterwards too. A little
Of course
bit.
they would.
Yeah.
You just like cut into that.
It's a worm.
Imagine the
Once you-
existence of that thing. It's
once
like
you
if
cut
there
a
was any
worm,
consciousness at
You
all.
cut worm and it just turns into two worms. I
If
wonder
It's
this
pretty
is the same
cool. How
way.
come humans aren't like that?
Well,
Dude,
I don't
we
want to be
take the
sliced
DNA
open. I mean,
Man,
And then we
slice
infuse
me.
it
If it's
in.
gonna double me, slice me, son. The company going all the way.
dude, look at that. Dude, imagine the thing
That
just
gene.
like if it had any consciousness whatsoever, and now it just like just like gets sliced up like that. It has no
Where's the
idea,
pineapple? That's
and
so
it's in a
savage.
salad somewhere. Like calamari at first glance. I mean, if you've seen somebody like slice up a, you
Kinda
know,
looks good
an
now.
octopus, squid. Like squids still don't look. That's still not as gross as that. Those things are disgusting.
But you're saying that because
It's
you just
alright
saw that
now.
whole process. Think about how much different through the same
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
process. And
Yeah.
you don't think. You know what I mean? Think about how it looks when they're slaughtering a cow, bro.
I know, but you know what? My cat doesn't look like a big giant penis walking the earth.
But it has one. I guess cows
And
don't.
somebody,
Cows are
somebody's
female.
eating that too. Somebody in some countries eating fucking cow penis.
I mean, you drink
That
Look at
actually,
that. Yeah,
that
like-
looks
cow's udders.
not bad. Like I
Is
would,
it
I would
alive?
eat that.
No,
I would
yeah,
eat
it's
that.
just showing it to you. Do they eat it raw? They've got to stir fry that. I feel like they in Asian countries,
Dude, no.
right?
No,
You're
no deep
aren't you
frying.
Japanese?
Yeah,
You're
I
an
would
Asian.
eat
Do they
that.
stir fry stuff a lot? Do you do a lot of stir fry?
Yeah, but we also eat raw shit.
You eat some raw penis fish? Would you do that?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Maybe I'll get a penis fish in here just for effect. I think maybe that'll be a New Year's thing
Just put it in
on the
Italian
show. I will
cookie.
get
Y'all
penis.
talking too
There's a
crazy.
lot of weird shit in these markets around here and some of the Asian markets. We'll get a raw penis fish for you, and we'll see if you'll take to that challenge.
I'll make sure not to
Wait.
be here that day.
You take to that challenge, the raw penis fish. Who will take the raw
Would you
penis
eat a
fish
cockroach?
challenge?
I
Yo,
was
dude,
starved to
in
death.
Asian
I hear
countries,
it's a good
hey,
source
look,
of protein.
look at this, look at this, look at this. Like, here's another one.
I
Dude, this
eat-
shit in
Dude,
other
I'd
countries
eat a
who
I'd
are-
eat a cockroach.
Symbols.
I don't get how people will
Look
eat
at-
certain things, certain animals, and not eat other animals. Like
look at
it's
There's
all the
another
same
one.
Shit.
I was talking about this the other day. It's like, I was just like, oh, here's another thing. There's in China now, of course. China is another
What are you
great
trying to say?
that they fucking market
Trying
anything.
to say ni hao.
Yeah.
Bro, dogs.
I'm trying.
Like why? Just 'cause
No,
it's a
dogs are, from what I understand.
domesticated-
So I know some traditional old school Chinese people. They were younger. This was years ago, but they told me that they really don't eat dog on occasion. And I don't know. I just didn't want to think about it.
Well,
Man's
I'm just
best
saying,
meal, man's
like,
best meal.
As an example, like why?
But-
Why is it bad to eat dogs and not eat?
Well, I think because dogs will have a little bit more
Cows
consciousness.
or pigs.
I think you know what it is. This is it.
cat, pigs,
this is it.
Yeah.
You're fucking. If you seem fucking stupid, we want to eat you.
Savage. You're savage for even saying that.
No, I think that's
You're
what it is.
savage.
But
Nope,
you're
you're
asking
savage
me,
for
is
saying
it
that.
okay? And I'm saying, well, is it
That's
okay?
the case. Eat half the people on this
Well,
fucking
then
planet. They
maybe,
stupid.
when it hits the fan and the zombie invasion happens, you know, you're gonna be going to town on some
Survival of the
brains.
fittest.
No, I'm
But
not
I feel
getting
like-
bit, bro. Chill.
I feel like it's all right. It's all right to eat things that are stupid. That's what. That's what the I think the mass people think. They're like, oh, it's a stupid fish. It doesn't have it. And you know that's the argument that vegans have because vegans don't like me because I just had like a beet avocado.
Yeah, I was at Five Guys last
You
night.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Vegans don't like me. They'll just be like, it's just You just don't know how that thing feels. Right, I don't, because it's got the brain the size of a half a walnut.
Like,
So,
I'm not gonna say.
you know, it's got.
They're gonna throw their right in your face.
And I'm gonna grab that and eat it because that edamame is fire.
So continuing on, but yeah,
Anyways.
I just think it's just stupid. If you think it's stupid, and you think it's less. And I think maybe the
This is
Chinese
such
think that thing is that the dogs are super unintelligent. Well, I think, and I think a lot of people agree with me. I feel like dogs are very emotionally very intelligent.
Who just
And
said
he
a
could-
cow isn't? You don't know.
Well, I
you don't spend
agree.
time with
I
cows.
agree with you. I agree with you. But people, you put yourself in those shoes. Maybe if
I
you've
can
been running the
understand
cows, hanging out with cows all day, you'd be like, oh, I can't eat my friend. That's my friend. Like we've been together. We've been together so much. Like
Even though the farmers still do that.
I know exactly. To be like, well, when push comes,
Cha-ching.
somebody's gotta get, somebody's got going off the boat. Reminds me of the Transformers cartoon from like the 80s. If anybody remembers that, shout out to Transformers.
Shout outs to Transformers.
Gen 1 Transformers.
Robots and guys.
when I said this to a friend recently, when the battle between Optimus Prime and Megatron is over, and they get Megatron's body, and they everybody's like, oh, he's like, looks like the survival of that. And I can't even do his voice, but like, he just throws his ass.
Close.
He just throws his ass. Yeah, I'm totally out of it. I could usually do better, but that's out the thing with like 3 or 4 of the cats, and then like Unicron like gives him a new body. But it's just yeah, dude, it's pretty. It's fucking. It's like oh hey man, we don't have enough to survive, so out you go, and and that's it. That's a reflection. If you watch the Transformers movie, I know this sounds nuts, but if you watch the retro Transformers movie, it's a really big reflection of the human race. You have like the Transformers are trying to like be civil and protective and whatever. The Decepticons are sucking the land dry of its natural resources. The Energon, they're all about the Energon, and then they're Cybertron, because they depleted their whole. They didn't have a working unity. They didn't have working unity, so they weren't able to sustain the energy pools. There was no balance, so they just sucked it all dry, and they planet, and they found Earth, and
Damn,
yeah, dude. Yeah, it's
knew.
pretty.
They
If you
knew.
watch some of the stuff, it's pretty prophetic. It's got a lot of tones like older cartoons do. I feel like newer cartoons are just like
stupid
shit
SpongeBob
with eyes and like, oh,
throwing up rainbows.
yeah,
And cats.
Exactly. It just gets fucking weird. So yeah, just like that. So speaking of weird, the Chinese cockroach. I think it's an American cockroach bred in China. If that's, and they actually have Chinese cockroach farms. So this guy is like in this article, he's talking about he loves the cockroach. He's always felt connected to the cockroach. Like this video, like in that link that I just sent him. If you wanna,
To each his own.
he's like he's just sitting there eating the cockroach. Like he only loves the cockroach. And we put the link in the video, and we can watch it.
Where
but
is it?
it's in the CNN travel article I just sent you, the last one. Did you see it? And it's the last one, the last link I sent.
Yeah, this is it. But I
Yeah,
don't see
it was
the
a video at the top. Oh,
yeah.
See that? So it's just funny. He's like so personable with the cockroach. Who would have thought? It's someone for everyone.
If you're eating, maybe put down your fork. In has a surprise for you. Welcome to the roach farm.
Oh, okay,
That's
I know
right,
like this.
cockroaches.
So inside here is where they breed the cockroaches. You can just hear them in here, and they stink of ammonia. And Wang says that these rooms, there are nearly 1 million cockroaches, and it's literally the stuff of nightmares.
咦，它散发出来的这种
I feel
Yeah,
close to
potato
them,
guy.
one tells me.
这个它一抓，
At least they vegetarian.
Just smell that unique smell they have.
Smell it, huh?
对的。
Unbelievably, this crop of American cockroaches brings in serious cash for
That
Wang.
looks like my living room.
He's the roach kingpin
Ew.
in the growing markets in China.
This is the mother
Captain
load in this
Cockroach.
one giant packet of roaches. Wang said there's a half a
Superhero.
ton of these critters that could
Thing, bro.
all be ordered by
girls, roach
Chinese
coats.
pharmaceutical companies. Almost 6 feet tall.
要是水泥制片，
Wang says pharmaceutical companies are lining up to buy his cash. They peddle crushed roach pills in China as a catch-all cure for stomach, liver, and heart ailments. It's not
Give you heart
just
ailments.
business for Wang. Since the age of 7, he's been admiring and eating cockroaches. And that one's just an appetizer,
So who's your hero? That is Cockroach right here.
because Wang prefers his roaches fried in peanut.
I have to say, worse than when they went in.
He wants to push it as a protein snack. It hasn't quite caught on yet.
Deep fried grasshoppers or anything? Like, it's
So,
pretty good.
It tastes like peanut oil, but then the aftertaste is exactly how you would imagine cockroaches to taste.
His face. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna stick to my
Decision
crumpets, bro.
forever, says Wang. David McKenzie,
Oh, there you go.
CNN, Jinan,
Grasshoppers
China.
are good though, so I can understand maybe.
I don't know. I feel like grasshoppers are like second in command of cockroaches. It's funny, like how he explains. He's like, oh, he's been admiring cockroaches since the age of 7. Like that's his hero. Like some people, who would ever thought that your hero could be a cockroach?
Yo, to each his own, to each his own.
I want to put a cockroach in a fucking super costume, like spandex costume and shit. Like, oh,
Roach.
super roaches. We're gonna start breeding super roaches. Anyway, so that's pretty crazy, man. You can get your fill, and you can go get yourself a nice cockroach meal, and then you can self to sleep
Yeah, eat some penis
in the
fishes.
singularity. So we can just roll, just like cockroach. Just feel you go full
They're
cockroaches.
penis fishes and cockroaches. I'm in.
Yeah, man. Sleeping. There's this thing that lately people think that, like, I don't know who's pushing this agenda, but it's bullshit. Is that sleeping isn't good? That, like, if you're sleeping, then you're
Dude,
sleeping your life away,
this
and you're not being.
Girl, I don't know who she is, but she was like, she made like literally that statement, like, I'm getting less sleep and like it's like healthier for me, better for like I don't know where she's getting this information
Say
from.
geniuses sleep less, you know what I mean? Maybe
Nah.
No, you could. No.
I know.
No, dude, there's a ton of studies that have been done, even as far back as a few hundred years ago, that people. Now, we're not talking about sleep cycles, okay? So there is like healthy and unhealthy sleep cycles. I mean, even myself, like I'm really a late night person. It takes me a lot. Like I have to either work out. If I don't work out, I'm working, and my mind has to be tired and my body has to be tired. So I have to be essentially tired in all aspects. And I have to pop out. I don't want to be one of those guys who are just like sleeping, like, all right, it's 1 sheep, oh, it's 2 sheep, it's 3 sheep. Like I can't do that. I need to like physically just like be. If I hit the bed, my eyes close, and my body's like, oh, thank goodness. Like I'm appreciating the sleep. Some people have easy time falling asleep, but what we're talking about here is that you're essentially sleeping for half your life. And you should sleep for half your life and a lot of people are like, well, I'm not. Well, think about it. Yeah, you are. There's 24 hours. Yeah, but some people need more than 8 hours. I actually don't feel good unless I sleep 9 or. I can get away with 7.5, 8, but I feel really 1,000 times refreshed unless there's. Because the
But
output,
you're not really
does
getting
the
that much
output,
sleep.
the output, what you do, what you put, your output is. It's like high octane. It's almost in a way like you wouldn't put 87 in a in a Lamborghini. Would you put 87 in a Lamborghini?
No.
Right? You would put 93 or higher.
Why wouldn't you put it? I mean, you can't put 87 in a Lamborghini. I mean,
Well, you could actually put any lower octane in a V8 or V12 or higher performance car. It'll run, but it's gonna run like shit.
I thought so it's not gonna fuck up the engine. I thought that's what it.
I mean, when they say fuck up, it just means that like it's just not gonna run as right. Like
that's
it'll,
the issue.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like humans in general, depending on the person, what they do, how they do it, what their day looks like, what their energy levels are, that you need. Some people don't need 8 hours of sleep. Some people need 7. Some people need 9. Some people need 10.
You're looking at it based on that number, but it's actually you need equal, REM sleep and an equal per night.
I thought REM sleep was your.
I mean, deep sleep, REM sleep and deep. REM sleep is, and whenever I like wake up and I like feel like my mind has processed a lot, I've like dreamed, like I've had a few dreams, feel more refreshed. And that's because just my brain is just like processing all the information that has happened to it within the past. So, I mean, sleep studies, there have been sleep studies that say, you have to get a certain amount. Deep sleep,
so you
REM
want
sleep,
restful
and then
sleep.
Certain things that you put in your body
Correct.
will allow you to get more REM sleep. Like if you from drinking too much alcohol, you sleep 12 hours, but you only get like a few hours or less of REM sleep.
You're probably not
like,
sleeping. You're probably
rejuvenated.
not past actually sleeping for 12 hours. You're probably in and out of sleep for 12 hours.
Because
you're like
if you
fucked up.
If you take sleeping pills, like that's like you're getting.
So that makes you groggy.
Yeah, that's like I'm talking about, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like sometimes, for instance, for me,
well, you could. I'm saying
I'll sleep for 8 hours, 9 hours, but then there's that one more hour that I'm not really awake, but I'm not sleeping, but I'm gradually waking up. My system is like booting up. You know what I'm saying? Like so it boots up, and people don't realize that you're just like a computer. You need to like, you need to boot up.
Reboot.
Yeah, you need to reboot, and like sleeping is really important. And there's this whole movement is like, yeah, sleeping's for the weak. Well, no, you're gonna be weak if you're not sleeping. And it's been like lack of sleep has been linked to less cognitive ability, has been linked to loss of immunity. Like your immune system being weakened. It's also been lack of creativity. Dude, when I don't get enough sleep, even if it's like a half an hour less than what I'm supposed to have, I just don't I spend half my morning trying to feel better. And then like when people is like, oh yeah, I just pop coffee or caffeine. What are you really doing? You're still fucking tired. Now you're just yipped up. And then you're artificially tweaking your brain like, oh, I got to keep it going.
Caffeine stays in your system for
12 hours. It is.
At least.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Do you drink caffeine?
I don't drink any. I'm one of those.
I drink.
I mean, but this dude doesn't sleep or not like.
And I'm not saying it's like that for everybody, but like the thing is like with this idea that like that you can't that sleeping is bad.
Editing,
but you could do that. But that's fine. But that's fine. I've done that too. I've worked on stuff where I'm like, oh shit, like I'll have the laptop on top of me, and then like I'll just be like, okay, and but then when I go to sleep, I sleep. Don't. There's no alarm. Like my alarm is my internal alarm.
Do you see that story about the people who, and this goes for a lot of like people who sleep intermittently throughout the day for like 3 times, like they'll nap for like an hour.
Yeah, polyphasic. It's called polyphasic sleep.
Polyphasic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you do like the intermittent thing where it's like.
It's like.
And then they'll like sleep in the office. They'll like go for a nap for an hour and then just like work throughout the night and take like intermittent.
That might be for me, man, because I'd be real like when the sun goes down, I feel like I'm most productive.
Yeah, and that happens to me too. That's the same thing. Like I'll be rocking it now till like 2 a.m.
Yeah, that's literally when I usually go to bed. It's 2 o'clock.
And because like there's a certain amount of clarity too, and that's not a bad thing. And for a long time, but I'm saying like even now. So it's 2 problems. One, the first problem is that a lot of people are made to think that there's something wrong with you. Like if you that's like whatever. Like oh you don't sleep. No. I do sleep. I just sleep later than you, and it's like it was always a kind of a challenge for me, and I had to like just understand that, like oh okay, because putting yourself to listen. I get it. Sometimes if I have no choice, I'll take a little melatonin, okay, which is a natural supplement.
Does that make you groggy though? That's what I've heard. That's why I've never even tried it.
But it's naturally produced, and you definitely don't want to abuse it, because it is, if you keep taking it, then your body's gonna stop producing it.
So that's a double edge.
So
Ooh.
yeah, because like anything else, like, you know, it's like the more testosterone you take, you know, your body's like, what the fuck am I doing? You know, that's why you should be eating foods that naturally, and you should work out more, and you should do stuff that enhances the production of testosterone. Because when you start supplementing and stuff too much, yeah, you could artificially inject the frame and be like, okay, you know, like, I'm gonna sleep tonight because I need to switch the cycle. I need to clip the cycle. So if I go to sleep early tonight because I have something to do tomorrow, or I'm shifting time zones, that's really the only time I like to take melatonin now at this point in my life, is where if I'm switching time zones for more than like 3 or 4 days, I'll take that. So that way, because I was on the East Coast, I was only gone for like 3 days.
You want to reset
but I was literally going to sleep at fucking 5 a.m. because it's only 2 o'clock here.
Yeah.
So now, if I want to like do stuff during the day, and I want to do stuff, if I have appointments, or I'm doing something, or seeing somebody, like, and I want it like that time frame, and I don't want to push it out, then I've got to force myself to do it, and I can't really do it effectively unless I get a little help, because now I'm on a totally different time schedule.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm
when
saying?
I'm in Minnesota, it's like that. Like, I go to bed at like 4 a.m. and I'll be having meetings in the morning like 10 o'clock, and it's just like,
Yeah, exactly. So like, that's the melatonin, but you shouldn't be giving your kids melatonin. Shouldn't be giving young kids melatonin. You shouldn't be taking it like habitually. You should only take it as like kind of like a kickstart to trying to change your sleep cycle a little bit. But it doesn't mean you should sleep less. It just means you should fucking sleep the same amount that your body requires, and that's usually anywhere from 7 as much as 10 hours. So if you sleep 10 hours, then that's almost like half your life. I know that I like to sleep 8.5 to 9. That's what makes me feel good. And I'm not passed out drunk. That's how I feel good, and I'm able to do all the shit that I'm able to do in a day. So, I mean, and then there's this whole movement of like, oh, who needs sleep? Who needs sleep? Well, guess what? I know somebody right now who's older who doesn't sleep as much, and she's been sick over and over and over again. In the last 6 months, she's been severely sick 3 times. I can guarantee you it's because she's like, I'm like, I call her, she's on the East Coast, and then she's like calling me at like 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, why are you calling me this late? I'm like, it's got to be like 4 a.m. Oh, I didn't sleep. Well, I slept like an hour and a half before, 2 hours. I'm like, yo, you need to go to bed. You need to go sleep, because she had a problem, hard time.
Immune deficiency.
Yeah. And then she has straight up been sick. She's like, and literally I talked to her today, and she's like, oh, I've never been this sick before. Like, it's so close to each other. And I can guarantee you it's because that she hasn't slept. And it's just like, it's a known thing. So don't listen to the noise.
Read. All you got to do is read, and you'll fall right asleep eventually.
Yeah.
But people are afraid of books, so you know that.
Afraid of books. Love the internet. Watch our show. Go to sleep. No.
Again, I think it's more about quality. You can't just put a number on the sleep. You have to prepare for a good night's sleep. Generally don't try. Well, I'm bad at this, but I try to work out early. If I'm gonna, I try to get physically earlier, so I'm not like, super energized right before I go to bed. Not really eat within like an hour or 2 before I go to sleep. That usually helps your digestive system sort of be on track. Like certain things like that, I feel like you can't just say, oh, this is how much sleep you need to get, because some people just can't get quality
well,
sleep.
Well, no, I get that, but that if they had the time, because a lot of people aren't making the time. They're just saying that oh, I don't have the time to sleep, then make the fucking time, because you're not going to be productive.
You're right.
You're not going to be productive. You're going to be struggling. Then
what
I'm napping later on in the day anyway. You're going to be angry. Your performance is going to suck.
What about people that have insomnia or just can't?
But you could say I have insomnia at that point.
Yeah, I'm an insomniac. I mean, going
you
by
could say
he's
insomnia. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Insomnia, you have a hard, you sleep. You have a hard time getting to sleep.
Yeah.
You don't have a normal sleep cycle. Insomnia is a blemish.
Yeah.
It's just the lack of sleep or the lack of a proper sleep cycle.
No, insomnia is you try to go to sleep, but you physically can't.
Bro, insomnia is
but
called entrepreneurship,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah, but
That's
the
how
thing
it
is, try. That's the problem. Is you shouldn't have to try.
It's kind of is that you?
What?
No, is it?
Did you just touch?
I just touched it.
Yeah.
It might be.
Oh, sorry.
You're
Oh,
good,
sorry.
you're good.
Yeah, so like the yeah, try is what I'm trying to say.
To go to
Try to go to sleep. You shouldn't have to sleep. You should go to sleep when you're
When you
fit and
you're
mentally
tired.
tired.
Like, let's say
and you
a lot of
should
people, that's
catch
during
it.
the day though. I
Let's
feel like
say
I
you
get tired during the day than I will at night.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then go to sleep.
Let's
I
say
mean,
you have
life
an
is
early
happening during the
morning.
day.
Yeah, I know, but then
You know.
maybe polyphasics for
What'd
you.
you
But
say?
I'm just saying like
Oh yeah.
like ultimately, I think it's important to ultimately sleep that whatever space spent. When people counting sleep, they're like, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead.
I
Well,
mean-
you'll be dead soon enough.
I be saying
Dude,
that all the time.
when I was in school, and you could probably, I mean, this is for entrepreneurs in general, but like especially when I was in school, like and for shoots and stuff, like getting up early, like I'd be up late, but I'd be like, and then but I have to get up at like 6 a.m. or whatever for a test or to go
Brain
to
had a
class
different
or something.
elasticity though, like so you could just do that.
So it's
You could
like,
just
but you're
pop
so
right up.
anxious about the test, or let's say it was like an event and I was in track, like we had a lot of like meets and stuff, like the anxiety like makes you not physically prepared to go to sleep.
Get what you're
So a
saying
lot of
because it's
people-
on your mind. It's like a brain. You have to
so I
think.
feel like there's a lot of factors in that you're disregarding when you say.
Well, I'm not disregarding it. I'm saying you should factor that in. I'm saying you need to factor that.
And there are techniques.
Well, of
used.
course. I mean, we could talk about all those others on another
Just
show,
wanted to,
but
just
but
like
but the thing is that ultimately, all I'm
acknowledge
saying
people
is like you need
that have that.
you should be comfortable. You should have a decent. You should spend more money. I spend more money on my sleep shit than I spend on a lot of other stuff. Like I want to make sure I have a comfortable pillow. Right, that's for me. That's not like pseudo comfortable. I don't have to fold it twice. I don't have to. It's not to my neck. Like it conforms to my neck. I have a bed that's like more than enough space that I can like sprawl out. That's like supportive. Like that's what I said. You sleep just about half your life. You should invest in that.
That's right.
You should invest in that. Like
Brought
you
to
shouldn't
you
worry
by,
be buying like the $200 mattress.
Time for our sponsor. Casper mattress.
Well, yeah, you could. We got who's got the affiliate program? No.
Casper.
So anyway,
we're
guys.
there for you.
Well, I think we've definitely gone over our time span like we usually do. Right?
Damn.
What are we at? Like an hour,
What do you think?
hour 35,
Hour 45.
No, less.
hour 20.
Yeah, 120.
All right, well that's good. That's good. So anyway, guys, well thank you so
Hey,
much
that's
for
a short
watching.
one.
Hey, listen, this is the Get It podcast. This is the first time you tuned in, and hopefully not the last because we're so damn awesome. And you definitely want to check out Get It podcast on YouTube. Just type in Get It podcast, or you can go directly to me, and I'll tell you guys where to subscribe if you're watching this. Go to youtube.com/my name, David, and then my last name is Scarpetta. So, and we'll put that in the text, in the description, and hopefully, we'll see you guys next. And as always,
Wait, whoa.
well,
We're disregarding our guest here.
well, we're not disregarding. We're not. Didn't even let me finish,
Oh,
brah.
You sounded like you're rapping.
Always wrapping. I'm wrapping up, and there's young entrepreneurs and young minds and creative flows and all kinds of cool stuff. And again, I'm gonna give a plug because just in case you weren't for the first time, we're here with Jonathan Williams from BRX, and who's a young entrepreneur who focused on VOD because he and is now focusing on his own business in virtual reality.
You can do it too.
And of course, we got you can learn more about me in another video. We got our man Hakeem here from Hawk Media, who's got a lot of interesting things coming up.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep and
Shout
we're gonna leave you guys with that. And
I
yeah,
gotta do my
whoa.
plugs.
oh, we want more plugs,
Bruh.
more plugs.
Whoa,
All right,
whoa,
more
whoa.
plugs. Here
Plug
we go,
away.
more plugs.
What you got going on?
More on virtual reality experience at vrxconnect.com. You can find us on all social media platforms at VRX. We got classes down in Inglewood every Wednesday at 2:30 if you're interested in learning about virtual reality. It's for kids only though. Hit me up. I got you on a consultation now. Plenty of show. Look at that. Yeah, he's scrolling to the website. Shadow Society available right now on the
Give
Oculus
us
Go.
The one sentence pitch for each of these, or what are they?
Shadow Society is a documentary series about social good, think incarceration, pet adoption. Jet Liaisons, an animated series. Cyborg in the year 4044, trying to discover the secrets of his mysterious past. Chinese with Charles is animated Mandarin lessons. Pop in there. Max Caliber 2D animated short about
Woo!
artificial intelligence
Live
robots.
action.
Pop in there,
Look
VRX
at all
Connect.
these- Look at all these clients.
Look at this. You're a beast.
Those are just the biggest ones.
What's this?
It's Kyrie
So-
Irving.
Oh.
And well, thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
It's been fun. It's been real. It's been real fun. All right, we'll shout out to you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Get It Podcast. Don't hit subscribe to the podcast. Hopefully, that voice, everything actually synced.
Yeah, it was. It was actually synced better than it ever has been. So
It was the what? The XLR cables?
yeah,